today we want to talk about Awana. Today is Awana Sunday. And what is Awana? It's a global child discipleship program. And Awana stands for Approved Workmen Are Not Ashamed. So if you're an approved workman for Jesus Christ and your love for the Lord has not grown cold or stagnant. And the key verse for Awana is 2 Timothy 2:15. Do your best to present yourself to God as one approved, a worker who has no need to be ashamed, rightly handling the word of truth. So, 我们要欢迎我们的小朋友坐第二、第三排，回到最前面的右边。And I'm going to turn things over in a minute to Miss Arlene and going to help my wife, however we need to be of assistance while this is going on. But before we turn things over to Miss Irene, we want to welcome 3 of our workers from this past year at Awana. And Jackson and Donnie and Ariana, would you guys stand up and let's give them a hand of applause for all of their hard work. Having older young people around is a big, big help. They work with all the different ages. They help with snacks and other things. And I'm sure Irene will have other things to say, but I just appreciated having them around and getting to know them a little bit this past year and in VBS before that. But at this time, I'd like to turn our time over to Irene. Usually, if it's Awana on a Wednesday night, you'll have about 30 minutes of game time first, and you'll have the Awana pledge and the Pledge of Allegiance. Hate to disappoint you, but I don't think you've got a game where we all run around the sanctuary lined up for this morning. Is that right? So we'll skip past that part, and Irene is going to share with us, for those of you who haven't been to Awana, she's going to give to us a presentation so you know how to pray for the work next year. This past Wednesday was the last week for Awana for the year. So Irene, we welcome you to come forward and get yourself hooked up to the help. And we'd also like to thank you for your hard work this past year. So Annie will help out with a little bit of translation. You guys.
Okay. Testing? No. Is that better? Yeah. Okay. Is that better? Good. Okay. All right. As Pastor said, every year we do Awana. We're one of the 3 churches in Erie County that do it. At one time, we were the only church in Erie County. So some of the churches have decided to bring Awana back. So we were pleased with that. But Awana actually started in 1941 in Chicago. A couple of pastors decided that they'd seen all these unchurched kids in the city of Chicago, and they said, we got to do something, or these kids are going to end up in trouble. So they started a small Awana group they called Awana, and again, Pastor said, approved workmen are not ashamed. Awana, what Awana means, the letters of Awana. So they started that in 1941, but the Awana itself actually didn't become an actual organization until 1950. So, and since then, it's in 100 different countries, and there's 100 million children and leaders in the Awana organization throughout the world. So it is a big organization, and But the main part about Awana is that they, it's all about the kids, of course, right? These kids are so important to Jesus, as you know the story that when the children came to see Jesus, and he said to the kids, to the disciples, he actually scorned them for wanting to push the children away. So we can kind of learn from that too, that God thinks these children are so very important, and we do here at Grandview Alliance. So what we do is we usually start off, like Pastor said, we start with the pledge to the American flag and then the pledge to the Awana flag. And we have an Awana verse. Can you guys help me with the Awana verse? Leaders back there? Jackson, I know you know it, right? Can you guys stand up? We'll say it together. Okay, 2 Timothy 2:15. Study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that need not be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. So then we say our Awana verse, and then we give out awards, kids earn awards for saying their verses. So we do that, and then we have, like Pastor said, a half-hour game time. It's kind of a, we don't really care who wins. It's just the important thing is the sportsmanship and things like that is basically what we're trying to teach. So, and then we have a council time. And the council time is where we're going to direct you guys. We're going to show you a little video. This year we did God's Amazing Animals. And God has made animals so very, very special when you start to dig into them. And then what we do is we say, okay, this is what God has given that particular animal for the purpose. How does that apply to our lives? So that's basically what we did for the most of the year. But this is one of the segments that we're going to show you. It's about seals. So do you have that ready?
Across the world, there are 33 different species of seal. Seals give birth on land. However, they will mate in the water. They are insulated by a thick layer of blubber, which protects them from the cold. Their whiskers are very resistant and help them to detect prey in the dark waters, where they can't necessarily see them. When seal pups are born, their mother will seek to bond with them by calling to them and smelling them. Particular species of seal have been known to live up to 46 years. There are certain species of seal that have been hunted so much that they have almost become extinct. The reason adult seals are so lethal to seals is that they cause great damage to their breeding, as well as their throat, ears, and eyes. They are not keen on being approached at all, and will bite if people go near them. Seals are divided into two families. Earless seals of the Bostae family, and eared seals such as the Faraday family. Eared seals are seals such as arbor and common seals, whereas earless seals are those such as fur seals and sea lions. Seals are carnivores and enjoy eating fish and squid. Seals come from bear or otter-like ancestors that grow on the land. They are mammals, so need air to breathe. They spend their time both on land and in water. There are 32 different kinds of species of seal. The largest type of seal is the southern elephant seal, which measures 13 feet in length and weighs in up to 2 tons. The smallest seal in the world is the dragon's fur seal. The measured up to about 4 feet long and weighs in at 65 pounds. To keep themselves warm in really cold environments, like the Arctic, they will stop blood flow to the surface of their skin so as to prevent heat loss to the cold. To keep cool in hot climates, they will reverse the process and release as much heat as possible, so as to keep their insides as cool as possible.
Okay, kids, can you tell me about one fact about a seal? What was it? Okay, all right. Luca? They have flippers, right? And help them swim in the water. Anything else? Lucas? Okay, so they have a way of cooling their body and heating their body up, right? Whenever they need to. Right, so God has made them with very special things, and a few other things too, is that when a whale dives into the water, the heart slows down so they can actually use less energy, okay? So they can stay under the water for like 80 minutes by doing this. So God has given them many different things so they can continue to do, so they can be able to get food and things like that for themselves and be able to survive. Well, we are kind of designed, God has designed us in a very special way too. He's given us very special talents and gifts and abilities. So I bet you guys have some kind of a talent or ability. What are you guys good at? For what? Gymnastics, okay? How about you? Singing? Good. That's one thing that I don't have that gift. If I was singing today, everybody would probably want to leave. Okay, well, what about you? Football, like that. Okay, anybody else? Anybody else? Yes? Drawing. Okay, we have an artist, all right? Very good. Anything else? All right, very good. So God has given us all special abilities and gifts to use for His purpose. All right? So, this is what Romans 12, 4 through 5 says. That there are many different parts of the body of Christ. And the body of Christ is all Christians together. We were talking about that in Sunday school this morning. And each of us has an important job to do. So, again, some of us have the gift of art, some have the gift of music, and we see that in our kids, and then some people have, many other gifts. So we're going to kind of talk about that with Mr. Potato Head here. So, you guys are going to have to help me a little bit, okay? All right, so we got Mr. Potato Head here, right? We're going to kind of take him all apart here. Okay, so what if I put all these parts in different places? It's kind of silly, isn't it? Right, that's it. Very, very silly. But again, we're the body of God, Christ, so this is the body. But Christ, what He does is He puts us in the places that we need to be, in the places that we have the gifts for, right? He doesn't put us in something that we really don't really understand too much. So we're going to put Mr. Potato Head back here. Okay? Where he's supposed to be. Okay, and we're going to see what the Bible says about our abilities and how we should use them. And we're going to be looking at Corinthians chapter 12. Okay? And we're going to have Mr. Potato Head kind of explain what this is saying in the Bible here. All right, so 1 Corinthians 12, and we're going to start with verse 27. Okay, now here's what I'm trying to say. All of you together are one body, okay? One body. And each of you are a separate necessary part of it. So the ears are a necessary part, the arms are a necessary part, the feet, the eyes, the nose, right? Got it? Okay. Then he says, and then he goes on and lists all the things. So, let's see. Yes, there are many parts, but not just one part. If the foot says, I am not a part of the body, that's not going to work out too good, is it? No. All right, so we got to put those foot back on because that's an important part of the body. Okay? And then, I am not a part of the body because I am not a hand. Well, we need our hands, and we also need feet, right? All right, and it says, what do you think of, and what would you think if you heard an ear say, I'm not part of the body? So if the body was only by itself, that wouldn't work out either, right? You'd be able to hear, but that's all. You wouldn't be able to smell, you wouldn't be able to taste, all that. So that's an important part, because we need the ear to hear, but we also need the other parts as well. It says, so would that make it less part of the body? Suppose the whole body were an eye. Would that work? No. We'd be able to see okay, so we wouldn't be able to do anything else, right? So we need the eye to be part of the body. All right, and then it says, or if the whole body were just one big ear, how could you even smell anything? But that isn't the way God has made us. He's made many parts of the body. And, okay, make many parts of it. And so each part will just where he wants it. Alright? So that's the same with us. Each of us with different talents, just where he wants us. What we need to do. So he has made many parts, and there's still only one body. All these parts make one body. The eye can never say to the hand, I don't need you. The head can't say to the feet, I don't need you. What would happen if we didn't have the feet? Right? All right. So, all these parts are important. So, what can we, and then too, it goes on to say about celebrating. When the body, when one person, we can celebrate one person in the body, we celebrate everybody in the body, right? Let's put that right there. All right. So all of us, again, we need all that. So, that being said, and then too, when part of the body is suffering, the Bible tells us that all the parts are suffering. So, in conclusion, all right, God sits on each of us in special ways. All of you have talents. He just told me you have some talents. He created us to serve Him and the others in the body of the Christ. You're supposed to serve Him while serving the body. And God will help you know and understand your design so that you can do the best for Him. He will help you know what gifts and talents and abilities you all have. All you need to do is to ask Him. So as one body, we all need to work together. And if you really think about it, when I was doing this lesson, I was thinking about all the people in our church that have different things that they do. And that, sometimes it's unnoticed, but, if you overlook our flowers are so beautiful around the church, Miss Nancy does a great job. We thank you for the way you keep the upkeep of the landscape. You know, you may not think that's significant, but I notice that when I go out there and I see those beautiful flowers and things like that, that's an important thing. So again, we thank Miss Nancy for that. But all of a sudden, the people that count the money, the people that help us from BBS, all those things, people that help us in the water, Miss Lynette and Pastor and Miss Annie and our 3 wonderful team helpers there. They were awesome this year. All those things working together, the body, to make for God's purpose. And again, we can't. You know, the people that do ESL ministry, another thing that's a very, very important part. Leading the Wednesday nights ministries and things like that. All these important things. You may think they're insignificant, but if we didn't have those parts of the body would suffer. So we just want to thank everybody for using your talents in our church, and to continue to do that, because when one part of the body suffers, we all suffer. So that's basically what we do in Awana. We always have a council time for 20 minutes. And another important part of Awana is we always make sure that we give the salvation message several times during the year, and in the hopes that the kids will take that on and make that decision to follow Christ, because that's what it's all about. And then 2, we have upcoming VBS. I think we have a little video for that.
I forgot to say, Irene, I put your papers on the wall there too. Irene always has a paper every week after she finishes the animal, and it's got some cool stats and a Bible verse. So you can see those on the church Facebook as well. And here's the video that Irene saw. Now you are the body of Christ, and each one of you is a part of it. 1 Corinthians 12.
Did you hear that? There it is again. Look, what's that? Right outside the tent. Right outside. Dad! Hey kids, time to go. You gotta see this. Trust me.
So that's our VBS for this summer. And Irene, I'm having a senior moment. What is the date for our VBS? What is the date?
July 13th.
So 7月13号到18号. And that's every day, 每一天早上到中午. So, ask the Lord of the harvest to continue to send forth workers, whether it's for outreach or kids ministry or behind the scenes things, all the ways that God enables us to serve Him, both in the church and out in the community. So we thank Irene for sharing with us about what's been going on Wednesday nights, and we look forward to its continuation in the fall. 秋天星期三晚上的活动会重新开始。 So at this time, if the kids are good, we'll all just stay in here together. But if the kids need to get a breath of fresh air, that's fine. 小朋友 Annie 小朋友要留在这里，我就让他们出去玩一下。
等一下，没关系，
留在这里。So the kids will stay here, and we're going to welcome Darlene to come now and share about how God has been working in her life.
My testimony. I just want to tell you a few things about my life. And if I start coughing, I'm sorry. When I was young, I was probably 9, 10, 11. I don't know where I saw it, but I saw a photo of African babies, how badly they are, I can't think of the word, thin, how malnutrition they were. And I just wanted to go there. I just wanted to go there and to hold these babies and to try to make them better. But you know, that was a dream. That was a dream. And another thing, when I was a child, we used to go, as a family, we used to go just driving around. And I'm kind of silly, I guess, because I would be watching all the fields, waiting to see a baby or a toddler running. And I was going to go out of the car, and I was going to bring them back and take care of them. Funny thoughts a child has, but I just loved children, and I loved babies especially. We got married, I was 17, my husband was 20. We both had to have our parents sign to us. I had big plans. You know, I was going to have 3 boys and then a girl. Well, I was infertile. I could not get pregnant for a very, very, very long time. We decided when I was about 30 to adopt. And it took us 3.5 years, but we did get a little baby girl. She was 5 months old. And we named her Cynthia Lauren. Her foster mom called her Lauren, so we tried to put that in the name of her. When she was about 8 years old, she was taking swimming lessons, and I would stay outside, and I would read on different things. But I was reading in a guidepost about a pregnant lady who was near delivery time, and she went to the doctors and there was no heartbeat. And she said, "No, that's not true. My baby is going to be born, and it's going to be born alive." The baby was born alive. The Lord was there, and He let her have this baby. I thought that was wonderful. And as I was reading that, I was bawling. I was crying and crying. And I was also praying. I had been praying millions and millions of times for me to be able to pray and have children. When we went home that day, we both were outside. I was in the garden, pulling weeds out of the mountain. And Cindy was splitting around like little girls do. And she said, "Mom, look, look, look." And we have a pond not far from the house, maybe 500 feet. And over that pond was a perfect rainbow. All the colors were showing, and it wasn't up in the sky. It was over the pond. And if I hadn't been on my knees, I would have fallen to my knees. Because I knew right then that was a promise from God. And He was going to allow me to conceive and deliver a child. I didn't tell anybody. I thought they'd think I was a fool because I'd been married 25 years. And I did not become pregnant. I believe I bought one of those pregnancy test things you get at the drugstore. And it said I was pregnant. Am I on? And it said I was pregnant. I didn't tell anybody. I didn't even tell my husband because I thought they'd all say yourself. Well, when I was 12 weeks, I saw the doctor. And he said, yes. There's a heartbeat, I could hear it. Yes, you are pregnant. 16 weeks later, we went to see him, and he wanted me, to go have in Pittsburgh an amniocentesis. I should have said no, because it wouldn't have mattered if the baby had any kind of leak around, and I would have kept him or her. But I'm easy to be persuaded. You know, I don't like people to hear me say no. So I decided, okay, we'll do this. So we went down to Pittsburgh. That's where he suggested, because they had a good counseling team that could talk to us if there was a problem. While they were doing this procedure, and we did not know what was going to happen, an intern was trying to put that needle down through and get the fluid they needed. And he wasn't having any success. He kept moving that needle around, and finally the doctor said, okay, let me do this. She went through one time and she got what she needed. So we left. I slept all the way home, and I never do that. When we got home, I had to go to the bathroom. I thought I had to pee. Well, I sat down, and Hank was right there, and I said, I didn't pee. He said, oh, yes, you did. It wasn't that, it was something else. That night, when we went to bed, we woke up in the middle of the night, and there was water all over the bed. Somehow, I don't know medicine very well, but that opened the uterus wall, and I just let all that, what do you call it, that? It was water, sort of. It was what surrounded the baby and kept the baby, what kept the baby going, what kept the baby alive. We went that day to the next morning, we went to the doctors, and he looked at me and he said, yes, that's what happened. When I walked in, the nurse asked me if I had brought any urine for testing, and I said, no. She said, that's okay, we didn't need it anyway. So in a sense, they said, you will miscarry, you will not carry this child. He sent me home, went to bed, and I was in bed for a long, long time. Weeks. Finally, I was able to get up. Finally, it healed, and I was doing good. I was doing real good. When it came time to have him, I didn't go into labor, but I had several bad pain. I think actually what it was a cramp that was just twisting and hurting me so bad. But Hank took me into the hospital, and they tested me, and I wasn't in labor at all. But they kept me, and then the next day they did a DNC. What they do, guys? They took the baby. What they do? A C-series, thank you. I'm not good at thinking and stress. But I have a little boy, he weighs 6'12". We named him Shane Henry. Henry was his dad's name. He was quite a child. He was difficult. ADD, which is attention deficit disorder. He didn't take medication for it. He graduated from school, of course, in college, and now he is a PA, physician's assistant, doing very well. He was in Ohio. When he was still in school, he joined National Guard Reserves, and he's still a very, very good kid. But what I want to tell you was the experience I had, the rainbow especially. I never once got, my faith was there all the time. I never was afraid. I never thought, I'm losing. I never did that. And I think, number one, I think that when I saw that rainbow, if it meant nothing to me, if I didn't think of it as being God's promise, I don't think I would have been pregnant the next month. And by the way, that month was in August. We just had our 25th wedding anniversary. And what else was I going to say? Oh, and we got pregnant the next month. But I just wonder if I hadn't had as much faith as I did, if I would have got pregnant. The same when I had that amniocentesis. They said you're not going to have that child. And I want you to know that the doctor that I had, his name was Dr. Chen, and he was Chinese. And he called our baby a miracle. That's what he was a miracle. Thank you. This testimony means something to everybody. Thank you.